Welcome to Plated Recipes. Today we are making an easy and simple 5-ingredient recipe from a cookbook that was crafted for diabetics at Barnes & Noble. I picked this cookbook up a while ago, and what enticed me to purchase this particular book was the fact that it had over 500 recipes and it had pictures for the majority of the recipes. I love pictures because I like to see what the final product is supposed to look like. Cookbooks with pictures give me the visual appeal that will entice me to purchase. Well, this cookbook did just that. And the cookbook that I'm referring to is called Taste of Home Diabetes Family Friendly Cookbook. In this cookbook, it has over 500 recipes, as I said. Each recipe in this book, it gives you the nutritional value and the diabetic exchange. So, my job is to show you how to make some of these recipes and to see if they're taste-worthy to be put on your plate. So, today's recipe that we are making today is an easy, simple, 5-ingredient recipe, easy baked mushrooms. My family enjoys mushrooms, and I hope your family enjoys mushrooms. So we are going to go ahead and get started on making this recipe. But before that, go ahead, subscribe, like, and share my channel, and let's get started. The ingredients for this recipe are mushrooms, seasoned breadcrumbs, olive oil, and your spices will be ground pepper and garlic powder. What the recipe calls for is to cut your mushrooms in half. So my mushrooms have already been washed. This is a very large mushroom, so I'm not only going to cut it in half, I'm going to cut it again just to make bite-sized pieces for the mushrooms. So I'm going to go ahead and finish chopping my mushrooms, and then we'll move on to the next part. Now that all my mushrooms are cut, the next part of the recipe, it says place mushrooms on a baking sheet. And I have my baking sheet here. I lined it with foil. It says to place mushrooms on baking sheet and drizzle with oil. So we're going to place these on the baking sheet here. Show you guys. Okay. We're going to go ahead and place them on the baking sheet. Okay. I'm going to move my cutting board to the side. And I'm going to scrunch them up a little bit so that when I drizzle them with oil, I can get oil on all of them. Now, I don't know about you, but I usually don't like to get my hands too dirty in cooking with oil and stuff, so I like to put on gloves. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some gloves, and I'll be right back. Okay, got my gloves. Okay. So it says to drizzle with oil. So I have my olive oil here, and I'm going to go ahead and drizzle. And one more thing, the recipe does tell you to preheat your oven to 425, which I've already done. So I'm going to coat my mushrooms. One tried to escape, but I'm going to go ahead and coat these mushrooms with the olive oil. And the olive oil, what it's going to do is it's going to help the breadcrumbs and the spices to stick to them. Okay, in a small bowl, combine the breadcrumbs, garlic powder, and pepper. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and combine those ingredients together and then put them over our mushrooms. So I think our mushrooms are pretty coated with the oil. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a small bowl. I have my bowl here. And this is the breadcrumbs that I'm going to place in there. And this is the pepper and garlic powder that I'm going to place in the breadcrumbs. And I'm going to go ahead and mix these together as such. Okay. And then it says to sprinkle this mixture over the mushrooms. So I'm going to sprinkle this over my mushrooms. I probably would have put the mushrooms in the bowl and mixed them in that way. That way I know that it's all coated. So let's do that. The recipe doesn't call for it, but that's what I'm going to do because it just seems easier for the coating purposes instead of on this baking sheet. I feel like you end up wasting breadcrumbs when you do it that way. So I got my bowl and we're going to go ahead and mix them in. Okay, you see how it's just all being mixed in with the breadcrumbs. Okay, then the recipe says to bake uncovered in your oven at 425 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes or until lightly browned. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and place these mushrooms in our baking on our baking sheet as such. Okay. So our easy baked mushrooms are complete. They only took 18 minutes in the oven at 425, and this is the final product. Can you see? And actually, they look pretty good. Like I said, I love mushrooms. Mushrooms to me are delicious. And I've never made them this way, so here we go. This is what it looks like. Can you see? They definitely have a crunch to it. And they're still juicy. They're not dried out or overly moist because mushrooms hold a lot of moisture. I would say if you love mushrooms, I would definitely give this a try. It's low in calories, and they have a very good taste to them. And I'm surprised that I don't miss the salt or the butter. And this is totally healthy, and it's perfect for a side dish to a main entree that you make. This is pretty good, actually. Pretty good. My family would enjoy this very, very, very much. The only mistake that I made was I didn't spray my pan with cooking spray. I should have sprayed it because my mushrooms did kind of stick to the aluminum foil, but that's okay. They still turned out pretty good, decent, and delicious. I would say this is perfect for a side dish. If you want to try this recipe, I can give you the link to where you can get this cookbook from. It's actually on page 238 of Taste of Home Cookbook. that you can purchase for yourself. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, so I'm not selling any products. I'm just basically trying to help individuals that are diabetic, individuals that have heart disease and renal disease, see recipes that is created for them come alive. Why don't you go ahead, subscribe, like, and share my channel so that you are notified when I upload my next video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned on Plated Recipes. Look, my family ain't gonna get none because I'm gonna eat it all today.